Groves of Central Florida, historic Sebring plays host to round 2 of the Barber Dodge Pro Series for 1997.
On a road course in the city, you have all those walls all the way around you. It's very tight, very narrow, and sometimes very slow. Here, it's wide open spaces and extremely fast.
Now let's take a ride. Will Langhorne driving us around the fastest part of the racetrack.
And he goes through the tower turn. This is a sharp right-hand corner, goes on to a very long straightaway. It's important to get off of that corner with a lot of RPMs because they multiply all the way down this straightaway. It's a good place to pass if you can get through that right-hander very well.
You see that moisture on our onboard camera, very wet in practice and qualifying. This lap came from one of the dry sessions.
Again, through the right-hand corner and onto the big wide-open runway down that main straightaway. A lot of room here, and another place that you get a lot of speed. A lot of guys will tuck in behind a car, get a big run, and then draft into the corner down here where they've got a lot of room, a lot of different avenues really to get into that corner.
Great pictures at about 160 miles an hour with the Racing Against MS onboard camera. This final corner before the start-finish straightaway was the scene of the most dramatic moment in last year's race when leader Frederick Larson and second place Nick Ronday collided, taking the two of them out. Tim Moser came through as the surprise winner. Ronday managed to recover for a podium position.
This is another good passing area down this long straightaway, and then you draft through this corner where you can run through there real quick. Another long straightaway, and it gives it a chance to pass in this area too. A lot of good passing areas in this racetrack.
No question about it. Plenty of room to race at Sebring. Tony Renna on pole has experience here. He was on pole last year, but he got out-dragged to the first corner. Let's see if it happens again this year. The flag is green, and look at the lines the field is taking as we head for turn 1. There's Derek Hill way up against the wall. Will he be able to outdraft right into the first turn? Yes!
He did a nice job. He tucked in behind him, got the draft, and then pulled down to the inside, took the line away from him, and went ahead and took the lead going through that first corner. And now then everybody's battling behind him, 3 and 4 wide, actually.
Look at the scrum as they go into the carousel, side by side. Hill with a slight advantage now over Renna, and the rest of the field trying to sort itself out.
Boy, that battle from about 4th on back was 3 and 4 cars wide. And that racetrack, even though it is wide open, certainly isn't wide enough to be running that wide for very long. They're going to have to sort themselves out. And look at this, we got a battle back there for 5th.
Coming down to the slowest turn on the racetrack, the hairpin. Everybody hard on the brakes. Lots of Goodyear tire smoke in the air.
You can tell right there that some of those guys weren't really ready for that. They came in there real hard, had to get on the brakes, and were sliding around just a little bit. Everybody made it through, though. It's pretty remarkable. All those guys sliding a little bit.
Nick Ronday has gotten around Martin Stenshorn and moved into 4th place. There's a section of S-turns that were added several years ago. Sebring used to be blindingly fast, but some of the turns have been tightened over the years to slow things down. There's our running order. Hill and Renna. Ooh, look at 3 wide. I don't think you can do it in that corner.
Boy, that got real too. Oh, that's Andy Moss off the course. And look at this, everybody behind him. I don't think he got out of the throttle, but he sure got everybody's attention that was following him.
Andy Boss started in the number 11 spot, and he wants to move up.
Well, Andy Boss has been around this game a little while, and he understands how important it is to get your advantages when you can. You got to move up as quickly as you can early in a race, and that's what he's trying to do.
Through the Lamar curve and on to the long back straightaway, the Ullman Straight. Sebring is also an airport, a regional airport here in the Orange Groves of Central Florida. Those are taxiways the cars are racing on.
Let's take another look at Andy Boss as he comes off there. You can see the race car's just a little bit tail happy. He gets a little bit wide. He gets out in the dirt. He's not the first one to be out there, though. You can see a lot of dirt's been plowed away out there as guys have run off the race course all week long.
Back in the pack now, we go on board with the Heftel Broadcasting onboard camera. Bill Titchener in 24th place. That's Charles Willis up ahead.
He got a nice run off of that corner. He's going to try to go around him on the inside. Looks like he does make it as Willis pulls in behind him. Couldn't do anything about it. He had the line on him. He had to let him go.
Now here comes Renna in the red number 9, trying to get it back.
And he does get it back. He got on the inside of him, going into this big sweeping right-hand corner and went right on around him. There's so many places to enter this corner. Sometimes you're not really sure whether you should take the big wide sweep or pinch it off a little bit. Renna did that there. He pinched it off and got around it.
Derek Hill is the race leader. He's now opened up about a 10-car length gap. Meanwhile, behind them, Jarle Gosselin wants 5th place and takes it from Martin Stenshorn.
And again, this racetrack is so big and wide, you've got several different ways that you can enter a corner. And if you're fast, by getting in low, you can take the corner away from these guys. The only thing is, you have to be sure you can keep your momentum, keep the RPMs up for that next long straightaway, or they're going to blow you away down the straightaway.
Oh, hugging the inside, Renna got 2 wheels off on the right. A little unusual in that corner.
Yeah, you know, it's not a very tight corner, so you don't really have to run that close. This race course is so wide, you can take several different lines, and that's what most of these guys are doing. On a corner like this, though, this hairpin, there's really only one way to take that baby, and you better be right on.
Race drivers talk about flow. You think Sebring has a good flow, Larry?
Well, I think it does have a good flow. I think it's very easy to get into rhythm, but you can get different ways of going into the corners. Even though you have a flow and you have your preferred route, it still is easy to change that route ever so slightly because there is such a wide entrance on so many of these corners.
With those tires squeal as Tony Renna and Rino Mastronardi went through the S's nose to tail.
Derek Hill has opened up quite a large lead as he's pulled away by 8 or 10 car lengths. Battle for second, third, and fourth as those 3 guys really hammering on each other.
I'm amazed at the way Derek Hill is pulling away. Of course, he has had a lot of seat time here at Sebring. He's already finished 2nd in sports car, which used to be called IMSA's 5-hour street stock endurance battle in the sports class in a BMW.
You don't think his father gave him any advice around this place, do you?
Well, of course, we always talk about his dad as Phil Hill, the 1961 world champion in Formula One. We should also point out Phil Hill won here at Sebring in the 12-hour sports car endurance race 3 times. Let's get back to that battle for 6th. Stenshorn looks like he's about to be passed. Yes, he is, by Steven Reichert.
Reichert did a nice job. I think Stenshorn is having some sort of a problem. That's the 2nd car that's gotten around him here in the last couple of laps. He doesn't seem to be getting around that sharp corner and down that big long straightaway. It's right at the end of that straightaway where all the RPMs and all the speed's coming up that he's really losing the battle and getting past these cars.
Derek Hill leads Tony Renna, Rino Mastronardi, Nick Rondet, and Jarle Gosselin. A great battle going on right here.
That's Reichert, Stenshorn, and Rocky Moran Jr. all battling there. No, that's Andy Boss again getting that left rear off into the dirt. And look at these 3 guys. Man, oh man. Stenshorn really battling there with Reichert, but Rocky Moran Jr. started back in 12th, is up to 8th. I think he's probably passed 4 cars than just about anybody out there.
And that puts him in the running for the Progressive Custom Wheels Most Progressive Driver Award. $500 to the driver who picks up the most places in the race. On board in our American Courier's camera, Samir Hindi running 22nd, and look at that suspension work.
Yes, he's really having a lot of trouble. I don't think this race car set up nearly as well as it was at St. Petersburg. He ran very well there. I'm sure he's disappointed to be running back there as far as he is. But right now, at least he's going forward. He's got a big run going down this long straightaway. If he can outbrake Hansen getting in there, he's going to have the spot.
It's Andre Hansen, who started 18th and seems to be going backwards. This will move Samir Hindi up to 21st. Oh, and he's having to take that entry very slowly.
Yeah, he didn't get in there very good at all. I think he just missed the setup with the race car, and I'm sure that if he had this whole race to go over again, things would be a little bit different.
There's another guy who may be having a problem, Martin Stenshorn, in the 34 car behind this battle between Rocky Moran Jr. in black and white and the gold number 5 of Chris Meninga. They are running 7th and 8th, and Stenshorn has dropped back to 9th position now.
And Meninga, he was looking all over the racetrack trying to find a way around Moran, but both of those guys right now gaining on Reichert. He didn't get off that corner very well. Moran's got a good shot at getting around him going into this next corner. He is already around him. Boy, he got a great run off that corner. Did a nice job, as Reichert must have had a little trouble in that last corner.
That's the Bishop Bend. There's a large patch of concrete there, and a lot of the drivers are using it, getting way over to the left of that white line that marks the edge of the racetrack. Now somebody's got to run. Is that Stenshorn trying to get around?
Yep, that's Stenshorn back there. Oh, we got a car off the racetrack.
Victor Gonzalez from Puerto Rico had such a great debut in the series at St. Petersburg. Let's see what happened.
Oh, he had the same trouble everybody else has had right there. He got way off of the race course, stayed on the gas like we've seen other guys do, but he was not straight when he hit the pavement and just shot him across the racetrack into the fence, and obviously the left rear suspension's busted and his day is done.
Now this is Jarle Gosselin, the Swedish driver who was up in 5th place, and that smoke from the back of the car means he must have some kind of mechanical difficulty.
Well, Boy, that's a tough break for him. He did have a nice run going. He had been going very, very well, but something has happened. Let's see if we can watch. Oh, he did. He had trouble getting off of the corner. He's around. He's turned clear around, going through that left-hander and off of the racetrack.
So that must have been tire smoke coming out from under the bodywork. It's a strange place to spin. The turn is almost completed at that point. Round 2 of the Barber Dodge Pro Series continues. There goes race leader Derek Hill, followed by Reno Mastronardi and Tony Renna.
Yes, Mastronardi has gotten around Renna once again. Those two guys have been battling back and forth all day long. As we take a look at Menega, he's now right behind Riker and working on him very hard. As we see Rocky Moran Jr. has pulled it. Oh!
Whoa! Andy Boss, who has been off the track virtually every lap at that point, and this time it hurt him.
He's had a terrible, we got another car that's off the course.
Will Langhorne takes it off and on at top speed.
Boy, Andy Boss has had a terrible, terrible time at that right-hand corner. He has been off there at least 3 times that we've seen, and he doesn't seem to be getting any better. Let's take another look, see if we can figure out what's happening. It just looks like he's coming off the corner a little bit too high. The race car just will not stick. The back end just slides out. He gets up over there. You can see the bodywork flying off that time, so he's hurt that race car a little bit.
Now here's a look at Will Langhorne, who simply straight-lined that corner.
I guess he had all 4 wheels through there. Looked like you're trying to go straight through a chicane, didn't it? He didn't even come close to hitting that corner. He was all 4 wheels in the dirt. Luckily, he kept the thing straight and kept on going. He did a nice job of driving, actually.
Reno Mastronardi comes under fire in the hairpin from Tony Renna. Last year, Mastronardi came here to Sebring for the first time, had a horrible weekend, qualified back in the 20s, finished well out of the points. Here he is running in second place for the moment.
And look at Renna. He's looking on the inside, outside. He's looked everywhere, side by side. No, he's not going to give it a try. He thought better of it and let him have the corners.
Sliding through the S's. Notice the changes from asphalt to the concrete surface and back again. Just one of the challenges of Sebring.
Yeah, this racetrack, even though it's so wide, it's very, very difficult in some respects. And you can see that everybody seems to have trouble right there. Everybody gets a little bit loose getting through that one corner.
This track has certainly seen plenty of great drivers over the year. Once played host to the Formula One Grand Prix of the United States. I believe it was 1958 when Bruce McLaren became the youngest Formula One winner ever, when his teammate Jack Brabham ran out of gas. Here's another historic part of the racetrack. They used to park airplanes back here on this stretch of concrete. Phil Hill, Derek's dad, once spun in the rain. Said he got turned around in the darkness, couldn't tell which way to go, so we had to wait for some of the other cars to come through, watch for their headlights, and followed them to get back in the race.
And look at Renna. He once again used almost exactly the same line coming down that long straightaway, took the inside line and that big wide entrance to that corner and took that spot away. It looks like he's really fast at that part of the race course, and then Mastronardi figures out a way to get back around him somewhere else.
And watching it all from behind, the red number 26 of Nick Ron. The lead just grows longer for Derek Hill, but in second place, Reno Mastronardi has now been passed by Tony Renna once again. So it is Hill, Renna, Mastronardi, and Ronde.
Yes, and Mastronardi and Renna have really battled each other very, very hard. Meanwhile, Hill has just kind of walked away from everybody. And here comes the white flag. And I'll tell you what, these guys are going to have to really get their act together, because Derek Hill looks like he's going to walk away with this thing.
3.6 miles to go to a possible second career victory. Derek Hill won the final race of the 1996 season at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, the home of the Skip Barber organization. And he's looking good here. Tony Renna beginning to look secure in second place. Reno Mastronardi has dropped back just that little bit.
And all 3 of these guys are guys who've been around for a year or so. They have developed that rapport with their mechanics. They've gotten familiar with the cars. They've run the race course. So it's a very good omen for those guys. As we take a look at Matthias Anderson, he gets on the inside of Brook for 10th position, has that line and takes the position away from him. Nice job by Anderson.
Points are paid all the way back through 15th place, and everyone counts when you get down to the end of the season on the run for the $100,000 championship bonus at Barber Dodge Pro Series Racing. Scott Brook is going to be a little burned at that.
Yeah, you don't want to run the whole race and lose a position on the last lap, believe me, and really get your goat just a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Anderson had a nice line going in there. But look at Hill. He's had a nice line all day long.
Rocketing through the Fangio chicane. So many great second-generation drivers here. Andretti, Hill, Fangio, Brabham. Derek Hill will take his place in that line today. Second and third look pretty secure. Tony Renna in second, Mastronardi in third, Nick Ronday in fourth. Rocky Moran Jr. having a terrific race. He's back in the 5 spot.
Yes, he's done a terrific job. We haven't seen a whole lot of it, but I'll tell you what, he has done a nice job moving up to 12 and
Once more onto the concrete expanse. The back straightaway up to 160 miles an hour top speed for these cars. Quick glance in the mirrors before entering the corner.
Yeah, but he's thinking there's not much time left. I hope this baby makes it around this last corner because they're not very close to me.
Let's not overstep the bounds of traction here in the final corner. That could be embarrassing, but a fist in the air says it all. To the line he comes. Derek Hill takes his second career win, first of the 1997 season.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to him. He's got his confidence now after the win last year. He's been driving these cars for a year now. He's worked with this mechanic for a while, so everything's just really fallen into place. He did a very, very nice job all day long and ran very fast too.
Here's a look at our results. Hill over Renna, Mastronardi, Ronday, and Rocky Moran Jr. Finishing back in the number 6 spot, Steven Reichert. After that race-long battle, Chris Menninga comes home 7th, Martin Stenshorn, Andy Boss in 9th after many trips on and off the track, and Matthias Anderson in the 10th spot. There you see 11th through 15th. G.J. Menin Jr. qualifies for the Most Progressive Driver Award, going from 23rd to 13th in the course of the race. So congratulations to him. 29 cars in all started the race. Victor Gonzalez, the rookie from Puerto Rico, with that big spin, comes home last.